A few weeks ago, something horrible happened. The 2 adult geese from my parents' farm got caught by a fox. The only things they left were many feathers and 3 scared little babies. I know that geese are really intensely bonded to their families. They build monogamous couples and usually stay together their whole life. And they take care of their young more passionately than I've ever seen any other being doing it. So it did not surprise me that the little ones were obviously scared and traumatized, shaking with their whole bodies. But then I noticed something that did surprise me. I noticed that there were tears dropping from their eyes. I did not know that geese do cry tears. But there was no other explanation for me. They had no access to water at that time, their eyes were not infected, and I've never seen that happening, not before or after that day. I do so very often see that humans are having a hard time to accept that animals might feel emotions, really similar to us. In science, we are always looking for evidence. And before it is proven, animals are being seen as more or less senseless. It is seen as unscientific to assume that a geese that is crying tears might be feeling a similar form of distress and grief as a human child would. And it is true, we never really know what someone else is feeling. We are even misunderstanding each other all the time. But I think that when we are just looking at these babies with a human heart, it does make totally sense that their tears are caused by emotional pain. And when it is true that geese do cry and feel so similar to us, what does it mean regarding our moral responsibility towards them? Of course, I will not blame the fox for what she did. She probably is a mom and her babies were waiting hungrily in their burrow. She's been risking a lot to offer them food, and even then this caused immensely suffering and death to the geese. It created joy and life force for the fox family at the same time. That what happened as a part of the river of life. It is horrible and beautiful at the same time, while it shows the essence of nature. The inevitability of death and the indestructibility of life itself. It took a lot of time and dandelions to help the little geese to feel safe again and to begin to trust us humans. I've spent endlessly many hours reading one of my favorite books together with them, slowly bonding and getting to know who they are. While I was learning more and more about the depths and complexity of their being, I continued to wonder how we as humans are able to collectively suppress our ability to empathize with them. How is it possible that we as a collective are supporting an industry that's killing billions of animals worldwide per year without ever truly empathizing with those beings which are the victims of our choices? Aren't we humans so proud of our ability to act morally? Isn't it so that the vast majority of us would feel sorry for 3 little geese who are losing their parents? Shouldn't we, with our fancy minds, be able to understand this dilemma and find a better solution? Aren't we, other than the fox, not only killing them, but taking away all their lives when keeping them imprisoned in factory farms? And aren't we, other than the fox, able to choose what we prefer to do? Is it possible that a species that is able to fly to the moon still isn't able to find a less harmful way of eating dinner? Even then, we cannot measure the suffering of animals. Isn't the fact that this is impossible for us reason enough to keep it as low as possible? Maybe the only problem is that not enough people have seen a crying ghost. Maybe it is that even we, with our incredible mind, are not able to wrap it around the actual truth of what is happening in this world. Probably no one of us is able to imagine the amount of suffering that 1 million animals are feeling during their slaughter, and there are around 2 million that we slaughter every day. Or maybe we are just so used to be fighting. Just as the foxes and the geese, we too are part of the cycles of nature, and for a very, very long time we had to take whatever we could in order to survive. But today, with our technology and our collective intelligence, this is not only a threat to the animals that happen to be our victims, but also to ourselves. We are disturbing the balance of this planet, but we are not going to be able to resist its laws. One of them is that you can't ever take more than you give. What is it that we'll give back for all that we are taking? We do have a choice. We can learn to use our unique abilities in order to serve this planet and its inhabitants, including ourselves. Or we can continue to take until nature itself will determine the price we have to pay.
Like stone, emotionless in this world of stone.